Let's talk about Miranda for a minute. Let me try to put this in perspective for you. I used to be a prosecutor. In fact, I was a prosecutor when Miranda was decided. We all thought it was the end of the world. Turned out it wasn't. But we learned a lot of things from it. Miranda simply, the court said, look, in America, we are not an inquisitorial criminal process. We are an accusatorial criminal process. That means the government's got to accuse you, they got to prove it, and they don't have, you don't have to come up with any information to help them do it. That's what Miranda was all about. Again, it was done for the protection of United States citizens living under the United States Constitution and not for foreigners. Miranda is simply an exclusionary rule. Now, I think most people in this room know what an exclusionary rule is. You don't go to jail if you're a police officer because you don't Mirandize someone. The case doesn't get thrown out because you don't Mirandize someone. The only thing that Miranda does is it excludes any evidence that the police got because they didn't give the guy his Miranda warning. All right, let's take the Christmas Day bomber. Somebody tell me why he had to be given his Miranda warnings. With all due respect, Mr. Mueller, and by the way, thank you for all what you do. You guys have tough jobs, and I appreciate it. But with all due respect, you didn't need to give this guy Miranda in order to have a legitimate criminal prosecution. You had 200 witnesses that saw what he did. You didn't need a confession from the guy. And anything you got out of him, if you didn't Mirandize him, couldn't be used in a court of law. But who cares? You got all kinds of eyewitnesses. You were going to convict him. I would hope you'd go back and look at this again and understand that the Miranda rule is simply an exclusionary rule. Number one, if you're not going to try him in an Article III court, you don't need to Miranda him. And number two, if you got all the evidence you need, you don't need to Miranda him. Go ahead and interrogate this guy until the cows come home, because it doesn't matter. What you want that for is you want it for intelligence, and if it never sees whatever he says never sees the light of day in a courtroom, who cares? This guy's going to get convicted. But with all due respect, I think you lost some information that could have been very, very valuable to the American people.